Hey guys, Horrorman back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at this brand new New York Comic Con exclusive Ninja Turtles Foot Clan set. Now this is made by NECA Toys and it just came out for New York Comic Con 2016. Now this was only available either on pre-order through NECA's website, their store, or you can actually pick this up, of course, at the booth, New York Comic Con. So this is a great set. This was supposed to release years ago and unfortunately was never released. And they finally got the Turtles license back in 2015, and then we've started to see some really cool stuff come from it. So this is the second wave of different sets. The first one was the San Diego Comic-Con arcade game inspired set. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So of course you're going to have the original Mirage art done by Eastman and Laird on the cover. Now it does have the newer Ninja Turtles logo, which I'm not huge on, but it's a really small complaint. But you see these really cool buildings in the background, Shredder's on the rooftop, and the Foot Clan behind him. And on the side you see that same logo, but you also see these little drawings in here on black and white. And then the side is pretty much the same thing. And then over to the back, you see this really cool picture, and these were done by the Fwoosh, FWOOSH.com, and they actually did all the photos for this packaging, which is really cool. They did a great job on this. And then you can see these little quotes, which are both from the original comic. And the top is pretty much just like the sides with the different drawings on here, but the bottom you actually see the credits for Ninja Turtles, NECA, and then you also can see the different people that did the photography, and of course Randy Falk for director. And then it's really cool if you see Four Horsemen Studios. They are the original ones that did these turtle sculpts. And you just lift up the flap, and then you can clearly see the figures in here. Now I have taken Shredder out of the box once, so it looks a little different when you first get it. And you can see a ton of weapons in here. And then you can also see the amazing artwork. Again, this is all Eastman and Laird artwork, all from the original comic. So really great packaging. Now if you have the San Diego set, pretty much the same exact size box, but it is completely different artwork. Alright, so let's go ahead and take these out of the box and get a closer look. Alright, so here's all the figures out of the box. Now there's a ton of accessories that come with these guys, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But check out these figures, man. Oh my god, these are so cool. This is definitely my most anticipated figures, I guess you could say figure set for 2016. I mean, I have been wanting this Shredder for so long. But not only we get that, we get the whole original series. Now the one that's a bit of a surpriser is this foot soldier here. This was not part of the original set. So they really haven't done too much different with this one, but they did add this really cool bandana to him, and I actually think it makes him look way cooler than just the regular foot soldier. So yeah, he was not part of the original Mirage Turtles Series 2 made by NECA. That was kind of like, I guess, a last minute change to keep with the four bad guys in a box, or four characters in a box theme that they have going. So basically you're going to get the Shredder, the regular foot soldier, the bandana foot soldier, and then I'm not sure exactly the name for this because it's changed over the years, but I believe he's a mystical ninja or shadow ninja. But either way, he's really cool and definitely the second best only to Shredder. But he's got a really similar helmet to Shredder. He's also got those shadowy eyes, and he's got a really cool like helmet and almost like a Raiden Mortal Kombat style hat. And he's also got completely different gauntlets than everybody else, even Shredder, and he's got that cape. Now if you've seen this cape before, it's the same cape that Shredder had on the arcade turtle set. Now last but surely not least is the Utrom, or some people may call him Krang. Now this is a little bit different than the Krang that we remember from the old cartoon, so you can see the style's a little bit different. He's still that brain, and he's got those creepy little tentacles, and he's pink. So he is basically, I guess you could just call him Krang, but he's a Utrom from the original Mirage comic series. But including him is so crucial, and I'm so happy they put him in here. So taking a quick look at each one individually, we're just going to start with the star of this set, and that is the Shredder. So this is a great looking figure. Just go ahead and taking a quick look at the head sculpt of him. You can see he's got that, again, like this shadowy eyes, which is really cool. You can't see his face, but you can see the white in the eyes. The helmet is spectacular. I mean, it is really, really well done. I like that you can see all the line work and the details of the helmet. There's some scratches, like battle damage in here. You can see where the helmet's, how it's like put together. So really, really nicely done. Great profile. I mean, this is the best Shredder helmet I've ever seen done on a figure for sure. Now, there isn't a lot of Shredder figures to really look at, but I mean, we've seen a little bit of that new SH one, and we've seen, you know, obviously the Playmates ones, but this is just a killer, you know, helmet. Great sculpt. You can see again the same details done on the blades, like the actual shoulder pads. You can see little nicks and marks in here, all with that black line work. And then if you bend the helmet down, you can see that same pattern in the gloves, like the wraps are on his neck. So really well done. And then you can see the actual, the clothes, again, this is the Mirage Comics version, so he did wear red as opposed to the 80s cartoon costume where he had that purple cape and everything else, like the gray shirt. But I really like the wraps on here, really well done. Now the blades again are in that more pliable plastic. It's real soft, so it's not going to break, so you don't have to worry about that. The shoulder pads aren't hinged or anything, so they're not going to be able to be lifted up or anything like that. You can see he's got this little you know, piece around his waist, again with the same wraps like you see on the arms. And then down to the feet, you see these awesome bladed shin pads here, which is signature to the character. And then the wraps again are on the feet and on the legs. So really great design to this Shredder. And then just looking at the Krang again, he's got these really cool lines for detail work, just like the Eastman and Laird comics. You see the little sketch marks in here. You can see his teeth are all really detailed, and you notice they're sharper than the regular Krang you saw in the cartoon. He's got these creepy little eyes, and the actual arms are articulated, just these two, or tentacles, or whatever you want to call them. But these are more like his actual arms right here. But this part here is just, you know, molded. It's not going to move. But it is cool that they actually gave a little articulation to him. Now, the actual foot soldiers are pretty much identical to each other. They really don't have anything different going on except for the bandana. So I'm not going to get too much into these. But they're pretty much just like the Shredder. And just to give you a close-up of the actual head sculpt, it's, again, really well done. You can see they have these really big eyes, which I really like. But again, I really think this bandana version is so cool. It's got... Alright, and last but not least is this Mystic or Shadow Foot Soldier. I really don't remember exactly what he's called, but either way, he's really cool. Like the little, like the sides of the hat here kind of drapes over his face. And he's got a similar mask to Shredder, but this is not the same helmet. It's got like a crease in the front here, which Shredder doesn't have. The hat's non-removable, but it does have really good detail. And he still gets really good head articulation. We'll go over that later. And then the only other noticeable change is the cape that's added here, which is the same exact cape that Shredder has on the arcade version, which I stated before. And then it has these really cool gauntlets, which, you know, we don't see on any other character here. These are definitely unique to this foot soldier. And for the most part, everything else is pretty much the same. The wraps on the feet are just the same as the foot soldiers. Even the markings on the legs are the same. And then you can see even the back of this little draped hood, I guess you could call it, has some detail in there. So the articulation's pretty much the same on every figure. There really isn't any difference except for the shoulders on Shredder have a little bit of hindered movement. So I'm just going to show you the articulation on one of these figures. It's going to start off with the head. You get plenty of articulation here. You can go all the way around if you want. He can look up. He can look down. You can kind of cock his head to the side a little bit here. The arms can go all the way out. And then you have double hinge elbows. You have wrist articulation, and it can also cradle a little bit here. You also have the waist articulation. There isn't an ab crunch, it's just a waist twist. And then you can get him in a seating pose if you want. He does have double hinged knees, which is really cool. And then the actual, it almost looks like a boot, but the wrap area can be twisted around here. There is ankle movement here. You can go up and down. And then there's a little bit of like a ankle rock. And then the actual foot has articulation, which I think is cool because it's a foot soldier. You gotta have foot articulation. Now Shredder does have a little bit better head articulation. He can actually look down a little bit farther and he can look up higher. He can also get more of an angle on his, you know, like poses here. So even though he has the helmet, it's got just enough clearance that he can get actually better rotation than the rest of these guys. So there's a ton of accessories that come with these. First, you're going to get this really cool dagger, which kind of reminds me of those old 80s Ninja Turtles figures. They always came with like a dagger, so it's cool to see that in there. There's a little knife, and then there's like a hook knife, and it actually has a spiked handle, which is really cool. There's two swords, both of which are exactly the same. Then you have this bladed staff weapon, and you get this amazing, which is probably my favorite weapon in this. It's basically like almost like a nunchuck with a mace on one side and like a knife on the other, and it's got a real chain on here. Now, besides that, they also did include a little ninja star in here. Now, I really can't figure out a way to I don't know, display them real cool with that, but yeah, I guess you could just put it in their hand if you want. And also they all come with open hands and fisted hands, and if you want to take those out, you simply just pull the peg out and it easily just goes right back in. All right, so for the first comparison, here's the Arcade Foot Clan next to the Mirage Foot Clan. And you can definitely see there's some differences there, but there's also a lot of similarities. For the most part, they do use the same body, which is that basic foot soldier body. But there's very unique weapons. You can see, for instance, with the Arcade Turtles, you will get this unique gun. And then there's also like a stick of dynamite, and then for like the Mirage Comics versions, you're gonna get weapons like this chained weapon here and the dagger, and then you also get the little Utrom here, which is I guess you can call this an accessory, but it is another character. You won't get that with the Arcade Turtles. Alright, and here's the Mirage Ninja Turtles next to the Mirage Foot Clan. Now, of course, these are also made by NECA, and they actually put out a set of black and white turtles, and they also had the standard Ninja Turtles with the red bandanas. Fortunately, I don't have all of the red bandana Ninja Turtles made by NECA, but they also, there was a lot of bootlegs put out of these guys. So yeah, here's what the bootlegs look like compared to it. They're basically the same mold, but there's definitely significant differences. If you are looking to buy some of these older NECA Turtles, they are pretty old. They're around 2008, 2009 era. So you can probably expect to pay about up to $50 loose and possibly over $150 mint. They are hard to find, and sometimes it is hard to tell what's real and what's not. Now, just to go over a couple things, you'll notice the color is definitely more vibrant on this one, and there's also like a texture to it. This is more of like a smooth paint, whereas you could feel like a rough texture on the NECA one, especially on the head sculpt. NECA never did colored bandanas, they only did red bandanas. The one other big difference is the shell. You can notice that the NECA shell is a lot more green, whereas the knockoff is more of like an aqua color. The knee pads on the originals are a soft material, and the knockoffs is actually like a harder material. It's not like real hard, but it's definitely harder than the NECA one. And then if you really don't know, you know, with all those things said, there's one last thing that you could tell for sure if it's real or not. You can look right here, you can see a little ab crunch. But when you look at the actual knockoff one, you don't see that at all. There is no ab crunch to be found. It's just a bunch of little lines. So yeah, look on that left side, you could really see it easily. But that's kind of like a dead giveaway that it's, you know, knockoff or not. So yeah, if you're looking to add these to your collection, like I said, I highly recommend it, but plan on spending a little bit of money and be careful in what you buy. Here's a scale difference between some of the other turtles released by Playmates Toys, just to see how well Shredder stacks up against them. Alright, and here's the Mirage NECA Shredder next to some of the other Shredders that have been offered. Of course, you have the original, the new CGI cartoon, the CGI movie, and then finally the NECA one. And you can see the NECA one's just a little bit bigger than that CGI movie figure. And ironically enough, the only other Mirage Shredder figure is just this little Loyal Subjects figure. And here's the Secret of the Ooze Foot Soldier from Playmates Toys next to the new NECA Foot Soldier. And you can see they both have those really cool bandanas. Alright, and here's how they stack up against regular 7-inch NECA scale figures. So just maybe a little bit shorter, but pretty good scale with Sarah Connor. And for the final comparison, here's this Utrom or Krang next to these two Krang. Alright, so that's my review. I'm definitely happy with this set. Definitely one of my favorites so far for 2016, if not my favorite NECA figures of 2016. I've been definitely waiting for this Shredder for many years. Should have came out around 2009-ish, and unfortunately it didn't get released. But the fact that NECA has stuck in there and finally released it just shows you what kind of company they are, and I really commend them for that. It's cool to see, you know, a company that's as big of fans as the you know, the people that actually buy all these figures. So you know, thanks to NECA for that. And it's a great set. I mean, the accessories, the packaging, and just the all-around care of, you know, trying to translate the characters from Eastman and Laird's work is just really cool. Now, if you don't know, these were actually sculpted by 4 Horsemen years ago, and they are better known for like their Master Universe series, Thundercats, you know, Outer Spacemen, several other series, and they're made so well. The double hinged elbows and knees are really a different thing that, you know, we don't really see a lot with NECA figures, but with these ninjas, it's really needed because you want to have those cool double, you know, double-handed like sword poses and stuff like that. So, you know, really happy with how these came out. Thanks for watching my review. Please subscribe, leave a question, comment if you have one, and until next time, guys, see ya.